Are you or a loved one disabled? Do you feel alone, lost, and confused as to how to win your Social Security case? If you're watching this video, it's probably because you have so many questions and you're desperately looking for the answers. Hi, my name is Avi Libovic, and I'm the owner at Benefits for All and the lead attorney at Avi Libovic and Associates. Over the course of my 20-year career, I've overseen the processing and screening of over 500,000 disability cases, working with the largest hospitals, neighborhood clinics, primary care physicians, and even individuals who had no access to care at all. My strategies for how to win the case have made me one of the top experts in Social Security law in the entire nation. My life and my career were going great. And then one day it all came crashing down. It started first with some abdominal pains. And before I knew it, I'd been admitted to the hospital several times and I required multiple surgeries. I found myself unable to work and disabled and in desperate need of my own benefits. I understand exactly how you feel. I was in your shoes. And I'm going to take you through the process and help you and give you everything that I know so that you can win your case. I'm recovered and I'm back at work. And I have a newfound passion for helping disabled people because I myself have been there too. Call our office today for a free screening and to see how we can help you with your Social Security case. At the same time, enjoy these videos and webinars that we've prepared to help you understand how to win your Social Security case. Hey everyone, this is Avi Libovic, and you're watching another one of the amazing webinars offered by Benefits for All, where we teach you how to win your Social Security disability case without having to hire an expensive attorney. So I'm standing here in New Jersey, right outside of Teaneck in Englewood, New Jersey. I thought that this was a very beautiful place to come and perhaps continue with some of our classes. We're going to learn a little bit today about steps 4 and 5 of the 5-step sequential evaluation. So for those of you who've been dedicated and watching and passionate about these webinars, you'll know that we have explained that at some point, if you lose your application request, so you get a denial in the application, and within 60 to 65 days, you go ahead and you submit a request for reconsideration, and then perhaps you get a denial and a request for reconsideration, and then once again for 60 to 65 days, depending on how you count it, it's a 60-day deadline from the notice of the denial plus another 5 days, you file a request for hearing. At some point, usually about after a year, it depends state to state, you're going to go ahead and you're going to get your day in court because you requested a hearing before an administrative law judge in order to appeal your denied decision. You should just know, some people walk in and they say at the hearing, well, why would you go ahead and approve me after you've already denied me at reconsideration and an application? And the answer is because the process is set up, the due process has been put in place that the judge is supposed to have, quote unquote, a new set of eyes. It's a new set of eyes with a clean mind and a fresh perspective that's looking at your medical records, that's looking at your application, and it should have no bearing, no decision with the judge in terms of how the district office or the DDS ruled on your earlier application reconsideration. The judge is supposed to go ahead and make a clean decision. Now, we've also discussed in some of the other webinars, and if you haven't watched them, I encourage you to watch them. If you only knew how much these webinars would help you, especially the ones for hearing, you would download them and buy them all right now, because I'm telling you, you're much better off purchasing these rather than going and spending between $2,800 and $3,100 to $3,200, or even as much as $6,000, because the attorney can take up to 25% or $6,000, whichever is less, from your back pay. If you understood how much you would get from these and how much money you could save, you'd be purchasing them all. But we said that when you go into the hearing, well, many of you think that, well, I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to tell the judge how I feel. Ow, ooh, ee, oh, you have no idea, Your Honor, I can't move and I can't walk and I can't carry. I believe you, and I'm sure the judge believes you too. But the judge can't approve a case just on ouch, or ooh, or ee, or ah, or it doesn't work like that. The judge also has to go through a certain process, right? The laws require that the judge goes through a certain analysis, and it's called the 5-step sequential evaluation for determining disability, for determining disability. The judge has to go through that 5-step analysis, and he or she just can't say, okay, I like you, I like your color, your eyes, so you're approved. They have to go through every one of the steps for the most part, and then they come to a determination. So let's quickly go through the steps, and then we're going to hit steps 4 and 5, because I know for those of you who've already heard steps 1, 2, and 3, you're dying to hear steps 4 and 5. And I'm going to mush together 4 and 5. I may break them out into separate webinars just for 4 and then a separate one just for 5. I think that they probably need one and deserve one, but for those of you who are getting just the basic package, you'll have 4 and 5 all in one step there. So let's quickly go through the 5, and then we'll hit 4 and 5 together. Number 1, who remembers number 1? That's right. Are you the claimant earning SGA, substantial gainful activity? Are you competitively working and earning money in the national workforce, which right now in 2016 is $1,130 a month? If you're earning that money, you lose at step 1. Step 2, if you're not, you go to step 2. Step 2, do you have a severe impairment or a combination of impairments that either meets or equals, sorry, that's step 3. Step 2, do you have an impairment, shit, cut. Step 2, do you have an impairment that's going to last 12 or more months and or result in death? Or to say it even tighter, do you have a severe impairment or a combination of impairments that is going to last 12 or more months and or result in death? That's very important. You can't just go and break your hip, we said, and get, you're out of work for 6 months or 8 months or 10 months or even 11 months and 29 days. That's not good enough. 12 months or more. If you're not 12 months, you don't win your case, you don't fit step number 2, you move on to step number 3. Step number 3, does your impairment meet or equal one of the listings in the Social Security listings, adult listings? We had said before that all the doctors got together and they came to a consensus and agreement as to what they want to see on your medical records. And if you can match up exactly what they're wanting and what they're asking for, then you automatically win your case. You don't have to go to step 4 and 5. You win at step 3. It's unbelievable, right? You can just call it a day early and you're done. How do you see those listings? We said you go on www.ssa.gov. In the search bar, you put in there 2 words, adult listings, right? Like a shopping list, adult listings. The list will come up. You select which body part that you want, and you're good to go. You have to meet that listing. If not, you move to step 4 and 5. Let's say what they are, then we're going to discuss it. Step 4 is, can you return to your old job? And if you can't, number 5, can you get any other job in the national economy? Okay? Number 4, can you return to your old job? And number 5, if you can you return to any job in the national economy? So let's focus, we said, on steps 4 and 5, because that's where we're up to right now. What do you need to know about step 4? Can you return to your old job? The first thing you need to know is, some people ask, well, how far exactly are they going to go back? Are they going to go back? My last job is I worked there for a year. Can I return to being a security guard or a construction laborer or whatever it is? Or can I return to being a secretary or a dental assistant or whatever it is that you were doing? It's not about just looking at your last job. They look at past relevant work history, and they're allowed to go back 15 years. So I don't know you. You have to look at your resume. You have to refresh your memory. If you can't remember, you say, oh, Lord, it's been so long. Then you have to ask your kids or your husband, your wife, or your best friend, or if you have a journal, go into your diary and look in the journal and see whatever it is. You need to figure out, what jobs have I had the last 15 years, because they're going to look 15 years. Now, what are they going to do? Let's say you had 3 jobs, right? Let's take the ones that we mentioned. You were a construction worker. I know this is just a fantasy world, but we're going to say you were a construction worker, and you were a security guard, and you were a dental hygienist. Okay, 3 different jobs. What they're going to do is they're going to first go ahead and they're going to analyze each job individually. They're not going to clump them together, each job individually, because the rule says, can you return to any, right, of your past relevant work history? So the first thing they're going to do, and this really first gets to the core of what they're trying to do on steps 4 and 5. They understand that you're not working, step 1. They understand you have a severe impairment that's going to last 12 months, step 2. They understand that while you have an impairment, you may not have met step 3, which is the exact listing, because if you met the last listing, you would already be disabled at step 3. What they're looking for in number 4 and number 5 is your functional capacity to be able to work even with the medical condition. Again, on steps 4 and 5, they're looking for your functional capacity, your ability to work, even with your impairment. Okay, so you have diabetes, whatever it is, even with the diabetes and even with the medication, are you able to work? You have a back problem. Okay, even with the back problem, are you able to work? If you have a heart problem or whatever, a mental illness, are you able to work? Now, it isn't so simple to just say, are you able to work? What they want to really find out, more than are you able to work, is they want to find out how is this illness, this impairment, or this combination of impairments affecting your ability to work. Not are you able to work, how is it affecting your ability to work? Meaning, at steps 4 and step 5, we break down even more, and they use something called a VE, which is a vocational expert. Vocation means jobs, employment. So they're going to take someone who specializes in jobs. Literally, there are people out there who specialize. I know every job in the world, and I know everything about them, and they bring them in as expert witnesses to give testimony in the hearing as to everything about your last job, whether it was the construction worker, whether it was a security guard, whether it was a dental assistant. This vocational expert knows everything about that job, and they tell the judge, Your Honor, to be a construction worker, you need to work X amount of days a week, and X amount of hours per day, and then they break down whether that job is something that they call a heavy job or a medium job, or whether it's a light job, or whether it's a sedentary means like sitting at the desk all day long, what type of job it is. And then they want to go ahead and not just identify what type of job it is in terms of weight classification, they want to determine how many steps are in that job, right? Is it a job that requires 2 steps, 5 steps, 8 steps, right? What do I mean 2 steps, 5 steps, 8 steps? Let's say you are stuffing envelopes for a church. They may say that's a 2-step job. You open the envelope and you put in the thing. That's 2 steps. Or they may say it's a 3-step. You open the envelope, you put in the paper, you lick it. It's a 3-step job, right? Something like that. I'm just keeping it simple. A regular construction worker who's just with a shovel dump, that's like maybe a 2-step job or 3-step job. I don't have the book in front of me. But if you're someone who's an intricate craftsman, someone who's a carpenter, someone who's an electrician, someone who's a plumber, right? They're going to want to look to see if you have special skills. Then it goes ahead, and it's not just a function of, well, it's a heavy job, because you're carrying all the stuff, but it also has several steps, which shows your degree of expertise and special training to do this job, right? Because remember, on step 4, they want to know, are you able to go ahead, and are you able to return to any job in the national, are you able to return to your past job? Sorry. Keep going. In addition to the job and the weight classification and the number of steps that you have, they're going to want to look to see also what? They want to kind of get a sense of how much education that you have. The more education you have, the more you're able to not just comprehend and understand. It shows whether or not you're able to go ahead and return to your old job and or go out for the 5th step and get a new job somewhere else in the economy. Are you literate? Did you graduate high school? Literate means can you read or write English and speak English? Did you graduate high school? Did you graduate 2 years of college? Get 2 years of college, go to an associate degree? Did you get a bachelor's degree or 4 years of college? Did you go ahead and did you perhaps get some type of additional training after college or specialty school training? Those are all things that Social Security wants to know. Now, once that's determined, right, they can now go ahead and they can determine, well, can you go back to be a construction worker? Can you go back to be a dental hygienist? Can you go back to be a security guard? Each one of these things, the vocational expert is going to give very specific testimony on. Remember, there's different types of security guards. There's a security guard who may sit in front of a library or sit in front of a museum and just tell people, can I see your ID? Can I see your ID? And they sit in a chair all day long. That might be a sedentary job where you're sitting in a chair all day long and just asking for ID. Or you're sitting on a chair all day long and you're looking at video monitors. Or it might be a type of security guard. I know some people like this. I had some clients like this where they had to walk across the whole mall. And they have like a check-in electronic thing where they have to hold against the wall to show that they walked the whole mall. And they have to walk upstairs and downstairs. And they're walking on. There's different types of jobs. There's different types of dental hygienists. There's different types of construction workers. And Social Security is going to want to know, can you return to your job? Now, how do they figure out can you return to your job or not? Well, often you're going to get something called a RFC. That's a residual functional capacity questionnaire. This is a questionnaire that's going to go to your doctor, and your doctor is going to go ahead and he's going to review it, and he's going to hopefully work together with you and sign off on the residual functional capacity questionnaire. Now, again, we've discussed that either you're going to have a physical impairment or you're going to have a mental impairment, or you're going to have both, a physical and mental. Depending whether you have a physical impairment or a mental impairment will determine whether you send a physical RFC or a mental RFC or both to your doctor. Now, if you purchase one of the deluxe packages, there are sample model RFCs that are part of your package, and you can download them and you can use as many as you need to send them to 2 or 3 doctors. You want to have a doctor who's working with you. If you have a doctor who's saying, well, I don't want to sign this and I don't want to put my name, I don't want to be involved, you know what you need to do? You say, doctor, I'm going to ask you one more time, please, I need your help. You know I don't feel well. Can you please help me? If the doctor still says, no, I don't want to do it, you need to find another doctor. This doctor doesn't care about you. I'm sorry, doctors, if you're out there, you don't care about your claimant, okay? And if it's a hospital that's watching this and they're using these webinars as a training opportunity for their staff, the social workers and the advocates within the hospital or the advocates within the counties who are watching this, you need to call up those doctors and approach those doctors and say, you know, doc, we count on you, we're all a team, okay? We need your help to work together with us so that our patient, our client, can go ahead and hopefully get approved and hopefully go ahead and with the approval, use the money to pay for food, to pay for shelter, to pay for medication, to pay for an assistant to help them move around, to pay for transportation. We need your help. If a doctor is not going to, I apologize, if a doctor is not going to want to help, then the doctor needs to think about, you know, why it is that they got into medicine to begin with. It may be time to consider doing something else with your job respectfully. But, and I want to just add a caveat. Sometimes the doctors don't want to help, not because they're bad, but because maybe they don't believe that you're disabled. And they're telling you in so many words, nice words, I don't want to sign this. Well, do you not want to sign it because you don't want to help me and you don't have the time to fill it out? You don't want to sign it because you don't think I'm disabled and you don't want to put your signature on that paper. That's a very big distinction. If the guy or gal, the doctor, doesn't have the time and they don't care, then you need to get a new doctor because they have to make the time. I have to make the time as an attorney, they have to make the time as a doctor to help you out. If they say, listen, I like you, you're a good guy, you've been my patient for years, but you're just simply not disabled, and I'm not going to lie and say you're disabled, then you know what, good job, doctor, and shame on you to the claimant. I'm not here to teach anyone how to be fraudulent. I'm not here to teach anyone how to lie. I'm not teaching anyone how to scam and get money from Social Security Disability Services. This is a legitimate agency that uses tax money, our money, to help people in their time of need, and no one should take advantage of that. So if you're watching these videos to learn how to scam the system, you probably should swap out the video and just go to Redbox or something like that. But assuming that everyone's legitimate, hopefully the doctor will help you. And these RFCs will basically say what? If it's a mental one or a physical one, they'll have different types of questions. On the physical ones, they'll talk about how long can you stand, how far can you walk, how much can you carry, can you climb steps, can you climb ladders, can you walk on an uneven surface? Like they have all those types of questions. Okay, if you have a specific issue with your eyes or with your heart or with your different parts of your bodies, the different systems of your bodies, and there are specific RFCs, residual functional capacity questionnaires, for those types of body parts, and you should send those specific questionnaires to your doctor to fill out. On the mental side, if what, they're going to ask questions again. You know, do you have hallucinations? Do you hear voices? You know, are you depressed? How many days a week will you be out of work? How many days a week, you know, do you require to be alone? Do you fight with supervisors? Can you maintain pace and concentration? Do you have poor memory? Like, you know, there's different questions that are geared specifically to understanding the severity of your mental health, and the doctors have seen these regularly. They should work with you. Fine. So between the vocational expert, who's giving a testimony as an expert on your jobs in the last 15 years, between your description as to what you did, right, and between the RFC, which describes a little bit more from the doctor's perspective of where they think your residual functional capacity is, even with the medical condition, right, the judge will be able to make a decision whether or not they believe that you can return to your old job. Now, if you don't pass that step, you go to the next step, and the next step, the burden, both on steps 4 and 5, the burden doesn't, on steps 1, 2, and 3, the burden is on you. I have to show that I don't earn SGA. Number 2, I have to show that I have a severe impairment spent the last 12 months. And number 3, I have to show that what? That I have a listing of an impairment that's in the adult listings or the children listings in the Social Security book. When it comes to step 4 and 5, it switches over. It now goes to SSA. SSA has to show, well, you can return to your old job. That's step 4. And number 5 is if you can't return to your old job, we're going to show you that there are other jobs in the national economy. And then the vocational expert will go ahead and will say, in the local community, there's 5,000 jobs like this construction worker, or there's 10,000 jobs like this, you know, dental assistant, or there's 30,000 jobs like this secretary. That's in the national. In the local community, they may say there's 2,000 or 3,000. They give the numbers. And what they're trying to say is, again, this side, 1, 2, and 3, the burden is on you to show on steps 1, 2, and 3. On steps 4 and 5, it's on SSA side to show that you can go back to your old job, or you can go get another job in the national economy, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to present all those numbers and all that data, and the judge is going to go ahead and he's going to understand that. Now, the last thing I want to say is the real way to understand steps 4 and 5 requires you to open up the book or download from the internet what they call a grid. It's a grid that has to do with steps 4 and 5. And there's a saying, whether you grid out or you meet the grids or whatever it is, you'll understand that when you open that up, and when I do a separate webinar for those people who purchase that webinar, I'll explain to you how to read that grids properly. But basically what they do is they go through age groups, okay? Now I know that everyone likes to feel young, and I know that some of you are young at heart even though you're a little bit older, but we're gonna go through legal definitions now, okay? I don't care if you're 75 and you think that you're young at heart and you think that you're 16 years old, that's terrific. You should live like that and live and be well, and you should be young at heart all of your life. But for purposes of this conversation, this webinar, for purposes of a legal definition, we need to go ahead and we need to understand that Social Security has legal classifications, okay? From 18, first of all, anyone from, a baby birth until 18 is just considered a child. So they're a whole different discussion. So let's move them out because obviously they don't have any past relevant work. So steps 4 and 5, it really doesn't exist for them. Steps 1, 2, and 3. For an adult, 18 to 49 is considered a younger individual, right? So good for you, all those 48, 49-year-olds who think that you're getting old. Social Security still considers you a younger individual. That's a legal definition. 18 to 49 is a younger individual. 50 to 54 is closely approaching advanced age. I'm sorry for those of you who are 50 to 54, closely approaching advanced age. 54, 55 to 58 is advanced age. I'm sorry, I don't make it up. I'm just saying it's advanced age. So if you're sitting there laughing, saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe you said I'm advanced age. I didn't say it, Social Security said it, but you're advanced age, right? 58 to 62 is closely approaching retirement age. And then 62 to 65 is retirement age, or 62 to 67 is retirement age. Let's go through those again. Social Security, legal classifications, 0 to 18 is a child, 18 to 49 is a younger individual, 49 or 50 to 54 is closely approaching advanced age, 54 to 58 is advanced age, 58 to 62 is closely approaching retirement age, and 62 to 67 is retirement age. Everyone has that? Awesome. Because once you have that, you'll open up these grids, just go on Google and write SSA, grids. I will be part of the web package. You'll be able to see it over there and download it if you paid for it. Or you can go to the website and ask, just write steps 4, step 5, grid, and it will come down. You're going to want to find your age. It's just as simple as going down the column. Oh, okay, I'm 32, that's where I fit in. Oh, I'm 54, okay, I'm in this column. And then it's going to ask you again, basically, is it a heavy job? Is it a medium job? Is it a light job? Or is it a sedentary job, right? Construction worker is heavy, medium is, obviously somewhere underneath the construction worker, but maybe a heavy, depending on maybe a stocker, someone who stocks shelves, that could be either heavy, or if it's smaller items, it could be a medium, right? Maybe a waitress is a light, kind of light dishes around, or a waiter is light. Sedentary is someone who's sitting at a desk all day long. So there's different classifications of different jobs, and there are ways for you to look up online. You can go to the Social Security website and plug your job in there, and they will show you whether you're heavy, medium, light, or sedentary. Not only will tell you that, it will tell you the different steps that you have in your job, but basically you want to go ahead and you want to find your age, you want to find your classification in terms of your job, if it's heavy, medium, light, or sedentary. You want to go ahead and determine what's your educational level. You'll know that. You're either till 8th grade or whatever it is, you're either literate or not. You either went to college and graduated, first 2 years, or went to 4 years. You'll be able to figure that out. And then you basically just want to go ahead and follow your finger across the road, depending on how you matched up with everything. And it will either say disabled or not disabled. And that's how easy it is. Steps 4, can you return to your old job? Well, what did your medical records say? What did the doctor on the residual functional capacity say? What did the VE say, right? How old are you? These are rock solid answers. How old are you? How much education did you have? There's no flexibility. You can't smear stuff. You're either 52 or you're either 58. Which one are you? You can't make it up, right? And no, it's not like a dating site. It's not like you can tell everyone that you're 48, but you're really 52. You have to really show them how old you are, okay? Get your age, get your education, decide if you have special skills, match it up to your type of work, follow your finger along the line, and it will tell you disabled or not disabled. And that, my friend, is a kind of a wrap-up of steps 4 and 5. It will tell you whether you can go back to work or whether you can find any other job in the national economy, right? And the long and short of it is that by understanding steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you can very much understand and have an appreciation for what you must accomplish as you go into your hearing, okay? There are so many webinars that are out here. There are so many that you should check out. I think each one stands on its own. I try to fill them with a little bit of humor, with a little bit of landscape and, you know, something special, and also with content, okay? There's not fluff, there's not whipped cream. I can give you plenty of whipped cream. Did you hear the one about a VE and an ME who walked into a health clinic? You know, I can give you jokes, but we're not, they walked into a bar. But that's not what it's about. I want you to learn, I want you to understand, I want you to win your case. I want you to, even if you decide to go with an attorney, you can certainly go to www.benefitsforall and see if we can help you. Give us a call, we'll give you a free screening. But if you feel that you even want to do it on your own, or like I said, if you hire an attorney, even with an attorney, you want to walk into the hearing and understand what is going on in the process and, you know, what it is that your attorney is about to do and how involved you should be. Okay, it's always an honor for me to have you trust me. It's always an honor for me to be able to share my ideas with you. Until the next time we meet and the next time we have a chance to share strategies, tips, and gold nuggets on how to win your case for Social Security disability, I'm Avi Leibovic, and Benefits for All. Come check us out, and I hope you win your case. Thanks a lot.